Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Step to Self-Love. I'm using self-love resources for managing mild to moderate mental health difficulties. This is Managing Low Mood session number 1, and we are covering what is low mood, common causes, common experiences, measuring symptoms of low mood, understanding impacts of low mood on our lives, or 5 aspect 1 for understanding the impact and symptoms. These video guides are only appropriate for people who may be experiencing mild to moderate distress, and these videos are not appropriate for someone who is experiencing severe distress. The definition is low mood is a temporary state, is a temporary emotional state where someone feels down, sad, or flat. It's a very common human experience, and it happens to everyone from time to time. Unlike clinical depression, low mood is usually mild to moderate, short-term, and often improves on its own once the stressor or situation changes. Some of the common reasons why you may be experiencing low mood can be long-term illnesses, such as fibromyalgia, obesity, heart condition, any other long-term conditions like diabetes or disabilities. They can all lead to that constant and low mood, that feeling of distress. Now, medication side effects. Some medications can have side effects and they can make us feel quite low. Any recent changes, such as changes to your relationship, to your job, and if you have recently become a parent, if you have lost someone close in the family which is grieving, are you grieving currently? Or have you moved houses, cities, friendships? Any changes, even changes to your diet, your weight, all that can lead to changes in your mood too. And pregnancy will be both before and after pregnancy, because you're accommodating to a totally different life, totally different lifestyle. So some people grieve for their old lives, thinking, I have lost so much independence and freedom, and I'm just now around my child. And have people experience postpartum depression, postpartum numbness, which is quite common, and as well as during your pregnancy and after your pregnancy, if this applies. And changes to your sleep pattern, lack of sleep, sleeping difficulties, and if there is a lack of family or social support, is there any conflict at your work, and is there a recent bereavement? Are you going through menopause and premenstrual phase? All these can have an impact. And anxiety can actually cause downward too, because when we're anxious, especially about uncertain situations, because we cannot do anything about these situations, so we tend to feel quite low because nothing seems to be in control. And this is how low mood and anxiety can often coexist. Now, without going off topic, let's bring the attention back to the common causes of low mood. Anxiety can be a common cause for low mood. So how do we measure symptoms? How do we know? How do we quantify the low mood? These are all symptoms of low mood. So when people experience low mood or depression, they experience all these symptoms from 1 to 9. And the scoring is anything between 5 and 9 is mild, 10 to 14 is moderate, 15 to 19 is moderately severe, and 20 to 27 is severe. I highly doubt that if you're between 20 and 27 range, these videos could be of any use to you. If you're anything between 5 to, let's say, 15, 16, you might get some benefit, but definitely if you're between 5 and 14, you may be benefited from these videos if you follow them through. So let's look at each symptom as in detail and let's score them together. So do you have little interest or pleasure in doing things? Like anything, let it be necessary, your routine or anything pleasurable, do you find that you are lacking interest? Now, this questionnaire covers the last 2 weeks. And don't be obliged to do this. You don't have to complete this questionnaire because this is not actually a therapeutic session. This is a self-help session. It's just a good practice to do this because it gives you a baseline, somewhere to start with, and you can do this at the end of your sessions too, just to see if you've progressed, if you've made any changes. And keep an eye on the symptoms that you find particularly distressing, that you score higher on. Okay. The score each symptom on a scale of 0, 1 through 3 based on the last 2 weeks, how you have experienced these symptoms in the last 2 weeks. Have you felt down, depressed, or hopeless? Have you had difficulties falling asleep, staying asleep? Were you sleeping too much? Do you feel extremely tired or fatigued? Do you experience lack of energy? Are there changes in your appetite? Are you under-eating? Are you overeating? Are you feeling bad about yourself? Do you find it hard to concentrate on, watching TV, reading a newspaper, any task that requires your attention? Then did you move or speak very slowly? Or the opposite, which is being fidgety or restless, that other people could have noticed or you could have noticed? And question number 9 is thought of attempting suicide or self-harm. And because we can absolutely not manage risk here, if you are experiencing these thoughts and these videos are not right for you, I would recommend using safety and emergency contact numbers. 999 is for medical emergencies, 111 is clinical triage line, 116, 123 is Samaritans, where you can talk about your suicidal thoughts. I hope if you are watching this, you do not experience any of them. The next questionnaire is to look at the impact of these symptoms, your low mood, on 5 different areas of life. So the impact means, is there an impairment or is your ability to manage any of these areas, all of these areas, impaired due to feeling low, due to low mood? For example, because of my mental health, my ability to work is impaired. 0 means not at all. 8 means very severely. Look at the impact. And exactly in the same way, think about the next area, which is home management. Then your social activities, then private activities, and then your close family relationships. Once you're given yourself a scoring, and if you score anything between 10 and 20, it is moderate, mild to moderate. Above 20 is moderately severe impairment. So if you're between 10 and 20, these videos might be helpful. 20 and above, you might need some different level of support. Now, these are some common experiences of, this is a formulation. So people experience changes in their thought, behaviors, feelings, and physical symptoms because of low mood. Changes in thoughts, such as I'm useless, it's all my fault, nothing good is going to happen. Depressing thoughts, hopelessness, and okay. Then your behaviors could be you stop your usual activities, you withdraw from other people, you stop taking care of yourself. Home, you spend more time, drink or smoke more, which is an impact on your home life, etc., and other areas of life. Then feeling just down, you feel upset, you feel hopeless, guilty. And then you can also experience physical changes, just poor sleep, appetite changes, lack of energy, poor concentration. Now, if you see these little headings in between behaviors and thought, it says If you feel more hopeless, cycle continues. That in between thought and feeling, you see your thought will impact how you feel. In between feelings and physical symptoms, you see the thought and feelings trigger a physical response. And in between physical symptoms and behaviors is thoughts and feelings affect how we behave. So do you think that you're also in a similar situation, or you're also experiencing similar symptoms? Let's create a formulation for yourself. So maybe you can copy this on an A4 sheet. We can just print this out. The website is known as getselfhelp.co.uk, and they have many templates. So please don't be overwhelmed. Just download Podesky 5-aspect model, classic formulation to understand how are you experiencing your low mood. Write everything in appropriate boxes. It's quite self-explanatory because it just says what happens to your thoughts, how do you feel physically, how do you feel emotionally, and how is your behavior changing, or how has your behavior changed because of your mood and motivation. We could state the situation, for example, what actually triggered this low mood, or what changes, if this is relevant. So this is, I've just explained the low mood symptoms and impact in a slightly different way. So now you see any changes in behavior, thoughts, biology, and emotions is having an impact on my life, which is then leading to unhelpful outcomes. So changes in my behavior that I notice, that I'm sleeping more, I'm eating more sweet, I've been avoiding gym, and I'm not talking to my mom. Cognitive changes are just changes in my thoughts, like, why is life so hard? What is the point of putting effort into anything? I cannot focus. I'm making so many mistakes. I forgot my appointment. And then my physical and emotional changes are body aches, lethargy, sadness. I feel ashamed, and I feel headaches. Experience frequent headaches. Now all these changes now are impacting 5 areas of my life, like work life. I'm sleeping more, which is making me get to work quite late. I'm unable to focus on work-related tasks. I'm overwhelmed with housework, cannot get anything done because I'm overwhelmed. These changes are also impacting my social life, like I'm not going out as much as I could because I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered to go to gym. I've not met my friend for this long. I'm not replying to their text messages, and this is impacting my friendships. Family, I'm not communicating with my mom, and this is creating distance between us. I'm not spending time with my partner, and I'm just don't feel like doing anything. And my personal life, I'm not looking after my health. I'm not looking after my appearance. Putting on weight, I feel bad, I'm looking fat. And then it's also impacting my ability to manage my home, which is I can't be bothered to do laundry, cooking, work is piling up, and everything seems too much. So now you see all these areas of my life are impacted, and I am experiencing unhelpful outcomes, which is why I want to do something about my low mood now. Because I don't want mood over mind. I want mind over mood. Okay. So now if you identified changes or any triggers, anything that might have caused you low mood, your vicious cycle of low mood, your impact, what is it that you're currently losing out on? Considering all that information, let's set a goal, like what is it that you would like to change or you would like to achieve from these sessions? And then what will you gain if you achieve this goal? So what is the likely benefit? Why would you like to change yourself? And what are you likely to lose if you don't achieve this goal? So if you continue living with your low mood, the impacts are just going to be more and more severe. But think about what is it that you're going to experience if you don't change the state of your mood and motivation. Now think about people, things, resources that might be able to help you stay on track and keep you motivated. So what can help you stay on the top of your goals? What will prevent you from relapsing and giving up? Okay? And then how will you reward yourself? Not yourself, it's yourself. How will you reward yourself? Just give yourself a rating of motivation on a scale of 0 to 10. How motivated are you to change yourself now? 0 means that you're not motivated at all. And as you move towards 10, means you're very motivated, you're very driven. And then think about, why have you given yourself that scoring? If you say that you're number 7 out of 10 motivated, then that means that you already know that there are some benefit of doing this. And then think about, what benefits are you going to get when you achieve your goal. And if you've given yourself a number 2, but you know that there is a problem, but you're still not motivated, so you may need to really understand, what is it that you're going to gain and what is it that you're likely to lose if you do not change your low mood, okay? So motivation can change if you build importance of any activity, any goal. And how will you create importance of something? By looking at the benefits, perceived benefit, and also by looking at what you're likely to lose if you don't get. Like if you don't pay your bill, credit card bill, how they're going to reduce your credit limit. You might get a CCJ. You might be, your credit score might drop. You won't get a mortgage. That's why you're going to pay your bill. And the motivation to pay today is quite high. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? That's how you understand and adjust and recalibrate your goals. In the next session, I'm going to introduce an intervention known as behavioral activation. And behavioral activation is a very well-known evidence-based intervention commonly used in cognitive behavioral therapy to manage symptoms of low mood and depression. So in the next session, I hope you will already have your scores ready and your goal ready. Good luck.